Good morning. Welcome to the Community for Conscious Living weekly live broadcast. Today is Sunday, August 14th of 2021. The Community for Conscious Living is a community dedicated to personal transformation for universal harmony, healing the planet by making inspired changes in ourselves and in our daily lives to create a sustainable environment and a peaceful world. Today, can you believe it? We have gone through all 37 of our questions from the Answer is Love, questions to explore as we transition into an era of peace. That means with each question, along with the question and the response, we now have a guided meditation and guided healing to go along with each one. We have intros to the whole book. We have recaps of each section. And today is the final recap. That's a lot of content to go with this, and I'm really excited for what it's come to be, how it's evolved. There were 5 sections in the book, and today we're going to recap how the core teachings from those 5 sections and put it together in like a streamlined sequence of how it really guides us from our human ego selves on the return back to unity, to oneness, to living in peace and universal harmony, which is the purpose of the Community for Conscious Living. It is doing our personal transformation for the sake of universal harmony. And so I have to say, when I went into that writing retreat, it's been over a year ago now, and all of this came through, I did not have that intention in mind, but of course that is really, that's my passion and that's my purpose. And that is I think the core element of my being. And so, it's not a surprise that that's what has come through, but I love it when a plan comes together. So it makes me really happy. And I hope it does for you too. I hope you found a lot of value in this. I know there's some of you who have not missed any of this whole sequence, and I so appreciate you, and I'm so grateful for you being here the whole time. And for anybody who has missed some, the replays are all there. The book will be coming out soon, so you'll have the book, and each section of the book excuse me, will have a link or a QR code that you can scan and go to the meditation for the question or the section, as the case may be. So all of this is going to come out in one package and be there for your reference and consumption. I love books like that because I always wanted to do a book like this. So I'm really glad this is what is coming to light. Because I like to use these books as a reference. Like if I'm questioning something or feeling a certain way, I can go to a book like this and just look at, what does this say about this particular topic? What does this say about that? And, skim through the table of contents and pick the question there that is on my heart. And then go there and find some perspective and get some grounding and, just feel into what resonates with my truth. What's really coming up for question, what resonates with my truth, and how can I really return to anchor in that place as I move forward, So I look to books like this for inspiration, for perspective, for guidance, for healing. And I hope that you will find that in this book as well. So let's go ahead and come into our meditation and healing circle today. Let's come together sitting side by side, shoulder to shoulder, elbow to elbow, knee to knee, coming together as one. And it's all coming together. And let's bring everything to face toward the center of the circle. Let's bring all of your eyes, your ears, your nose, your mouth, all your face, and your third eye, your throat, your heart center. Bring everything to face toward the center of the circle. And bring your solar plexus and your belly and everything to face all in one direction. And as we come together, physically, virtually, energetically, etherically, and meet in this virtual center, together, let's call on our source in the name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate. We call on you. We ask you to send your vibration of your pure divine light. Just imagine, perceive this pure divine light streaming into the center of our circle, and feel it if you can, this pure divine light streaming in. And let all of your being, every part of you, face this pure divine light. And let this light just gently fall upon you, upon your senses, upon your skin. And let it just really warm you, touch into you, absorb into you. And just let it cleanse, let it purify, let it cleanse your electrical circuitry in your body, your etheric body, and your electrical circuitry, your nervous system, that wiring within your physical body. Just let it travel through and cleanse and cleanse and cleanse in any of those places where your nervous system might be stuck on either a shutdown or a high alert or a collapse, or those places where the nervous system can just be stuck in responses to past traumas, to old pains and hurts. Just let this light come in, let it cleanse, let it purify the old gunk away from that circuitry, and let it also awaken and enliven the circuitry to its original state, like you're getting new wiring in your house. Because if you've ever moved into a really old home that has the old wiring, sometimes you need to tear it all out and get new ones. Well, this isn't tearing anything out, but it is cleansing, purifying, and restoring the wiring within your body so that your circuitry is like new. And what does this do for you? This gives your nervous system the opportunity to let go of its old patterning and be present in the moment and available for whatever may come in front of you, so it can respond to what is in the moment, not with the expectation of what's going to happen because such and such happened before, but what is here now? What is here now, and how can I best be present and fully open and available to what is here now? So let that light come in. Ya Nur, the pure divine light streaming in and cleansing and purifying your body, illuminating and awakening you to your own truth within. And together again, meeting in the center of our circle, everything facing toward the center of our circle, meeting together in the name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate. We call on you, our source, the one and only source. We call on you. We ask you to send your vibration of unconditional love. Just imagine, perceive this unconditional love streaming into the center of our circle. Feel it if you can. And really turn your heart center, that funnel of energy at the front of your heart space. Let it turn toward this center. And as this unconditional love is streaming in, just let your heart center tip up and receive it. And let it just trickle into your heart space, through your heart center and into the center of your heart. Let it come all the way in. And let your heart center be like a breathing portal. And as you inhale, breathe it in through your heart center. And let that pure, unconditional love come in and love your heart. your loving heart. Let your loving heart that yearns to be loved, let it be loved by this presence, this vibration of pure, unconditional love. This is the truth of your makeup, of who you are, of your essence. And your core essence recognizes this truth. So let your core essence receive this and be loved by this, be met by this pure, unconditional love. And it will know, I recognize myself. I recognize myself as I feel this pure, unconditional love. Right? And I return home to myself as I experience and resonate, vibrate with this pure, unconditional love. So let this just waft through your heart space. Let your heart absorb it and drink it in. Really take in this love and let yourself be loved. Take it all the way in. And as you exhale, you can blow out and just release any of the tension or the clutter from your heart center. Let it go. And breathe in with each inhale. Breathe in that pure divine light and unconditional love as it's streaming in through your heart space. And now take a full, gentle breath, breathing all of your energy all the way into the core of your being, your vertical core that runs through the top of your head, all the way down your body, through the very center of your body, and through your base, right? And let yourself upright your spine and lean into your center. Inhale all of your energy into your core. And as you exhale, drop down and land into your hips, land into your pelvic bowl. Feel your presence in your belly and in your hips and in your base. Let yourself land in your body. And let's face again toward the center of our circle. In the name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate, we call on you. We ask you to send your vibration of your eternal compassion. Ya Rahman, the eternal compassion. And just feel, perceive this pure, eternal compassion. Eternal means beyond this time and space realm, beyond this three-dimensional, finite time and space. Eternal. Eternal has no meaning outside of the time and space realm because it's a relative term. Where there is no time and space, or beyond time and space, there's no need for a word like eternal. So I like to explain eternal. It is just what is. It is the existence of the cosmic womb of all of existence. Eternal compassion. And the nature is compassion. It is that loving, accepting, nurturing, giving, holding, securing, that nurturing womb. So let yourself be contained and held and supported in that cosmic womb of eternal compassion. Breathing in that pure divine light and unconditional love, and exhale, drop down and land your whole being into that eternal compassion. And allow yourself to be held, supported, loved, and cleansed, purified, awakened, all of that beautiful stuff and whatever else of the healing divine powers that want to come and support you on this journey today. I want to outline, if you will, overview the 5 chapters in this book. The Answer is Love, questions to explore as we transition into an era of peace. Because if you've ever questioned, and I certainly did for a long time, so I know this answers came to me, to my own internal questions, and I hope in sharing it with you that it is helpful for you as well. If you've ever questioned with the way that things are in our world and have been going and are going in our world, if you've ever questioned, will we get through this? Can we get through this? Can we survive these times that we're in? Can we ever get it together to make it through this time and truly live in a sustainable environment and a peaceful world? Can we really, as human beings, do the work we need to do so that we can live in universal harmony? I certainly have questioned that many times. And this gives us like a journey, a pathway for that. The very first section was on sustainability and world peace. Sustainability and world peace. And let me just jump to the table of contents of the book here and share with you some of the questions that were in that chapter. Questions that were here. If God is a God of love, why is the world so cruel? Why so much pain, hatred, and fighting? How can we embrace love when the world appears to be dominated by people who enslave others, humans and animals, for domination, control, money, greed? Why is there suffering? How can we see all the suffering in the world and still believe in love? Is it possible to end world hunger? Can the planet support all of the people? Are we supposed to eat animals? What is our role with animals? Is the planet overpopulated? Do we need to reduce the population to sustain life? Do we have enough? Can we survive climate change? Is humanity capable of constructing a sustainable environment where all the elements of creation can thrive? Is it possible to have world peace? These are some burning, burning questions that I know we all have now. And I'm going to give you the nutshell, what all of these boiled down to as a core message, that if we can heal this in ourselves, we can realize the abundance of this world and what it has for us. And this is a key point for healing our issues with sustainability and world peace. The core message, and I invite you to listen with the ear of your heart, if you will, and really take this in on the deep level, because your mind might know it and say, yeah, but there's a place in the basic human being that really asks this question and really wants to get it. The bottom line is, there is enough. You have enough. You are enough. There is enough. You have enough. You are enough. Sit a minute and take that in. What does it feel like? And just tune into any of those places within yourself that have questioned whether there is enough, whether you have enough. Just tune into those places inside of you, and any of those places that feel that worry and that doubt and that fear. especially if you have those fears of the ever-growing population. And what are we going to do? Take a minute and just sit with that and let that kind of bubble up. Let those questions bubble up. And just let these questions come to light, the questions in your own heart. And allow that part of you that questions to be witnessed. Allow yourself to witness them. Allow them to be witnessed by this pure divine light and unconditional love. Allow them to be met by these vibrations that are streaming in to our space. Allow them to be touched by this pure divine light and unconditional love. Allow them to be held in this eternal compassion. You are enough. You have enough. There is enough. You have been brought here. You have come here to play out this life journey, the hero's journey. You have come here because there are teachings for your soul, for the evolution of your soul. And you agreed to be here. And ultimately, your purpose for being here is to travel this journey, which sometimes seems distant from love, but to know that yes, there is love. And yes, you are love. And you are a reflection of pure divine love coming into physical form. To know love. And in this world, we learn through contrast. And in order to know love, we separate from it, or we don't separate from it. Let me retract that statement. We have a perception of separating from it, perceiving ourselves as separate, as alone, as somehow outside of the cosmic womb and the laws of nature that govern our universe. And those laws of nature are such that you are fully provided for to move through this pathway, travel this journey that you've come here. You have everything you need to receive what you're here to receive. And you are enough to do all that you've come here to do and to be all that you've come here to be. And everything is held and contained for you. And you're given everything you need and a little bit more, because you're supposed to make mistakes along the way too. That's part of the learning process. They're not even mistakes in that context. They're part of your journey, intended. And all of that is held and provided for too. I'll tell you a story, and I know I've told it several times before, but it always helps to hear it again at a time like this. There was a little girl that I worked with several years ago now. At the time, she was 6.5 years old, and she remembered being in the womb. She remembered what it was like, and she told her mom that she really liked being in the womb because when you're in the womb, you can go back. Like if you get scared, you can go back and ask questions. And her mom said, "Really? You got scared? Well, what happened?" And she says, "Well, Mom, you get to see everything. They show you a movie of your whole life before you come here." And her mom said, "Really? And it's scary? Well, if you don't like it, can you, can you change it?" And she says, "No, Mom, it's not like that. You see, you have to come here because you have to learn lessons, right? It's like going to school and you have lessons that you have to learn and you can't change that." She says, "God has it all worked out." And her mom says, "Really?" And she says, "Well, do you remember the movie?" And the priceless part, right? Wake up for this one. She says, "No, Mom, that would be like going on a treasure hunt when you already know the treasure. So you are traveling this journey, this human journey, to first forget the truth of who and what you are. And then when you finally get to this point where you say, hey, wait a minute, something's really off here, and you decide you want to find your way back to the truth, all of this knowing is within you. You have everything that you need to first forget who and what you are, to reach that point of what the heck. Sometimes it's the dark night of the soul, that, where we have to hit that bottom point, and then to make your way back, to return to the truth, and to know that you are cared for every step of the way, and it's all within the divine plan. There is enough. You have enough, and you are enough. You are enough. And this goes for you individually and the collective of our humanity, because the collective body, as we are all cells of one body contained in this cosmic womb of our Mother Earth, our universal mother, and as one body, we have the same journey. And if you look at the history and the evolution of humanity and human consciousness, you'll see the same hero's journey. We're on it together. And yes, there is enough. We have enough. We will return. And if we can live, instead of this lack and abundance consciousness, I kind of think sometimes we use the word abundance when we're seeking abundance. It's the flip side of not enoughness. And when we really want sustainability and peace, we need to look at it in terms of sufficiency rather than the more definition of abundance. So think of sufficiency and think of, what do you need? What are you called to? And what do you need to move through that? And then what is asked of you, or what is inspired through you to move to get and to have what you need in order to do and to be what you're here to do and to be. If we can let go of our collective buy-in to this systems, the systems that are based on that scarcity and lack, the striving for more than enough, the abundance, the the sense of the separation of the haves and the have-nots, and this all of the different ways where we buy into financial and social systems that create inequality and lack. It's a part of our collective humanity teaching. So if we can each begin to shift that in our own inner selves and know that we have enough and that we are enough and there is enough, we can help to dissolve the systems that create the perceptions of other than that, right? You have the inner piece of it and you have the outer manifestation of it. So as you really, that outer manifestation of, well, wait a minute, I need this or I need that or I fear this or I fear that, those are opportunities for us to tweak the inner beliefs and to heal on the inside. The perceptions of separation, the perceptions of lack. And as we heal on the inside and move our actions and beliefs into our daily lives and habits, we help to shift the outer. Because I know you've heard every dollar is a vote. So as we shift the inner and say, wait a minute, maybe I don't need this. I know not everybody here is totally materialistic and consumeristic, if that's a word, but we do, it's a part of our culture here in the United States, materialism and consumerism. And so recognizing that every dollar you spend and every action you take and everything that you support with your habits and your lifestyle and your purchasing, that everything is a vote for something. And it doesn't, I'm not saying we have to be 100%, 2000% perfection or aesthetic or, anything like that, but mindful, and let it come from an inner reflection. And not saying that to kill your joy or anything like that, but let the inner part of you have the opportunity to fully experience joy without this feeling of there's no joy in me and therefore I have to get my joy from something on the outside. And and there's a walk there to be done. There's a balance there. But know at the core of your being, you are enough. And when those feelings of not enoughness come up, let them come up to be witnessed and touched by this vibration of unconditional love and this pure divine light and this eternal compassion. And know that you have everything that you need. Everything. And you are everything that you need. Everything you need to be, you are. And you are enough and more than enough. Now take that in. Deep breath. You are enough. The second section has a beautiful follow to that, right? It's on relationship, gender identity, gender roles, family. The core message of this is to know yourself. To know yourself and to know others who are in your close circle, in your family unit, in your relationships. The question of gender identity was a big one that is having we're in the midst of a really big shift, and I've learned so much more since doing this section on the gender identity and gender roles. We are, it's really interesting. And I think I do want to say this from the perspective of what's going on in our world. Our gender identities are shifting rapidly. Our gender as it relates to the physical body. On one level, we have created this world where with all of the, the plastics and the various drugs and the hormones and things that we put into our foods. If you eat any animal products, I mean, even feeding our children milk, I learned just recently about the level of hormones in cow's milk that we feed to our children. And it's like, 3 times what a human mother's milk would have. Human beings what's produced in the cow's milk is not suited for the human, and not the human baby or the human adult. Adults don't need milk at all, period. That milk is for babies, and they're for a certain growth period in their lives. And cow's milk for human babies is too much. And for human developing bodies, it's too much. The hormone levels are not aligned with what the human needs. The human baby needs human mother's milk for a certain period of time. But there's the hormones. Let me just go back to the level of hormones in drugs that have now made their way into our water streams. I first learned back in like around 2008, 2010, somewhere around there. I went to a conference in a sustainable agriculture conference in Pennsylvania. And they talked about that they were finding fish in certain areas that were being born with both genders. And, with the reproductive system of both genders. And that they were tracing it back to drugs that were being flushed into the waterways. And that they were worried then about this coming into affect the humans. And it is affecting humans more and more. Our children are being more and more affected. I've recently, come into connection with someone who has been directly affected by that. And I started doing some research on it and finding that 1 in 1,000 children, and this is up very much from where it was back then in 2010 when I first started learning about it, but it's always been it's always existed to some extent, but it has skyrocketed in the occurrence. 1 in 1,000 children is born with some level of reproductive organs from both genders. And it's really been on the rise. And the term that is used for this is intersexed. And on just the basic hormone levels, with everything that we as a culture, as a humanity, have done to our planet and our food systems and our water systems and in everything, we're creating this system. And then when our children are being born and they're questioning their identities and they're questioning, who they are, where they fit, they don't fit in their bodies, don't fit with what our culture defines as this is male, this is female. And it's always been to some extent. Yes, we've always had it. And it is becoming more and more prevalent. And we have created this. So as we are creating this, we have created this, we really need to step in and support our children as they're coming up in this world we created, right? The culturally created a world that's male is this, female is this, and then physically our habits have generated this world where there is a morphing or a blurring the lines, if you will. And then if you pan out and look at the big picture, evolutionarily speaking, as we are evolving, as we move closer and closer to like less identified with the human body and the physical material realm and more identified with soul and spirit. The soul is gender fluid. God has no gender. So we are evolving our consciousness as the physical is evolving, and we need to step in and support our children, and we need to understand each other, and we need to let go of our identities with what a female body is supposed to do and look like, because that has really messed up a lot of us, we can say. And same with the male, what the male body is supposed to look like and how it's supposed to perform and what it's supposed to do, what this one's good at, what that one's good at. We need to let go of all of that. And what is most important is that you know yourself, you know what is your truth, you know who you are, you know like what you are drawn to, you know what you are good at, you know what you are inspired toward, and you honor that for yourself, and then take off the glasses that see others and say, okay, you're in this body and therefore that means this about you. Take off those glasses, let all of that go deeper, 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 deeper. Know the heart and the soul of the person. So we let go of who we are and what we think we were meant to be based on our physical appearance and even the body type, even the gender. Let go of all of it. Know yourself, know each other. And if you are attracted to each other, right? If you are attracted to each other, let the attraction draw you together and let the love bind you together in families. If there is love there, when you know yourself and you know another, you come together. If there is love there, let that bind you together in family. And we needn't worry anymore about whether there are going to be enough children born. Like, whether a male and a female are coming together and there will be enough. There will be enough children born. And there are also, especially as we're evolving, and that a lot of people are transitioning from the planet and children are being orphaned, there are children who need care and support. And if love binds you together with someone and you have a desire to care for and support the children of the planet, bring them into your hearts, bring them into your family, create the family. Let that bring you together. Let those families be created. Love and care for each other, know each other, and help each other to know ourselves. Right? This is the true love. So sustainability and world peace, you are enough. Know that you are enough. And you have enough. And there is enough for relationships and gender. Know yourself. Know yourself and know each other, and let go of the outer pictures of what we think we are and who we think we're supposed to be based on physical. Let attraction draw you together. Really know each other. And let the love bind and create the families. The next section was on healing, physical, mental, emotional. And this core message of this one is to return to know and be and live your truth. So this is the healing journey, right? We all have the wounds from past traumas and from our life experiences. Let those wounds be a doorway, right? The wounds do not define you in any way, shape, or form. They are merely a doorway. And the emotions that we so suppress that sit on the inside of those wounds, right? That we protect the tenderness of the heart and those emotions that we won't let out because emotions make us bad or weak or, out of control or any of those kinds of things. Those emotions can be your guide. As I call it, the journey to the center of yourself. All of my programs are based on the journey to the center of yourself. Let this be your doorway and your pathway to truly return to know who you are as a human being. This is how you come to know yourself. This is how you come to know yourself and return to be yourself. It's through this healing process of the wounds are the doorway, the emotions are the guide. They guide you to know your basic human needs, which tells you what you yearn to return to within yourself, which tells you what you know, which tells you who you are, and you can transform to be you. And this is a journey. All of my programs are based on that journey right there. Most of my programs are based on that journey and then some evolution from there. I could do a class on boiling water and probably still move through that process, and then some evolution of your soul to truly transform your being to who you were created to be and move out from there as a whole integrated being. And the fourth section was on passion and purpose. So you are enough. Know yourself and know each other. Return to know, be, and live your truth, and honor your divine inspiration within you. Follow your passion. Know that you are a being. As a being, have life force and consciousness, because the breath of spirit is breathing through you. It's what breathes when you breathe. It's what beats your heart. It's what perceives when you perceive, and thinks and feels and senses and inspires, right? You have a flame of passion at the center of your heart, a deep yearning within you. And when that breath of spirit breathes across that flame, that is what fans that flame and inspires you. So let that have its expression. Let it have its presence in the world. Let it move through you, and know that when it moves, it is the divine moving through you and wanting to express some part of itself in the physical realm, wanting to give some presence in a way that you can see and experience and others around you can see and experience. Honor that. Know where it comes from and let it move through you. So follow the divine inspiration that moves through you and expresses through you, and let it be an interactive. It's like we are divine manifestation. We are divine manifestation, and we are meant to be in inspiration and in interaction and in movement and motion and interplay with each other, learning from what moves through us, learning from what moves through others, and knowing our source through this movement. So follow the passion, let it express through you, and learn from it. Be a part. Some people say, oh, well, the world's evolving. I'm going to kick back and just watch what God makes and trust. And I don't mean to say that that's wrong, but we have an opportunity. We are divine manifestation. So to say I'm separate from that and I'm going to kick back and watch it happen, that's kind of like, well, if that's what you're inspired to do and that's really what you're here to do, that's okay. But we also get to play. We get to be a part of it. We get to experience it and expressing it like surfing, like surfing. We can surf the waves. We can be a part of it. We can really have fun in the inspiration and surf the waves. And the fifth part was on spirituality. And the core message here is don't ever assume you know it all. I think that was, for me, the core takeaway. There is no such thing as reaching. I'm there now, and therefore, there's always more to know. And just when you think wow, my personal experience speaking here, just when you think of, wow, that's amazing. Now I know this. It's like suddenly a doorway opens up and there's this whole other wing of the home over here that you didn't even know existed. It looks completely different. And maybe it expands out. It's like, oh, wow, I knew this house here. And all of a sudden I open these doorways and this whole huge giant house behind it and beyond, right? It's kind of like as we get these stronger and stronger telescopes that can see into the universe more clearly out into the greater realms, we have a whole new experience there. We learn about things we didn't know about before. And what's the next thing you're going to learn about? Well, wake up like the child. Be the child. Be the child that, like I have my sister's new little kitten that I'm having a great time watching, that reminds me every day that there's always going to be something new that I might be taking for granted that he can see as a really fun play toy to explore, like he's never experienced it before. This world is full of new play toys for us to explore like we've never experienced before. And so wake up every day with that awe and wonder of what is the world going to bring today that I can explore, that I can learn, that's new? And God, show me. What would you like to teach me about today? What would you like to illuminate for me today? Where's a pathway I didn't know about before? And doing this program called The Ocean of Sound with Amani Shalaby. And it's just amazing because, it's tying, as we work with sound codes a lot in this program, it's tying the vibration of sound codes. And I've always, related them to the emanation of creation, and our consciousness. And it's tying them to the cosmic realms and the movement of the sun and the earth and, through the houses of the zodiac and the movement of the earth on its axis and the emanation of creation through the multi layers of creation, and how the human body is a mirror of that and can use sound to connect with the various layers of creation, and how we can use it for healing, how can we can use it for awakening, how we can use it for manifestation, how we can use it for really understanding our earth journey, how we can use it for communicating with the elements of the universe that we might not even think are alive, and it's just it is so much more to explore. And it brings together the numerology and the phases of the moon and the luminosity and the all of this stuff that who knew? So there's always something new and exciting that comes through that exploration. And so, that's been another really amazing example of don't assume that you got it all and there's nothing more to explore, because there's always, always, always going to be more as long as we're in physical form. And the beauty of this is, as we are moving into this era of peace, that there's more and more and more that's going to be opening up. And our humanity is evolving. The consciousness is evolving to really take that in and be surfing in that ocean and exploring that ocean. And it truly, when your consciousness expands in that way, that other stuff that doesn't resonate in these realms, in this place of that expansive love consciousness, they fall away. You don't need it anymore. You don't need the same level of things from the material realm to affirm you, or to feel supported, or to feel healed, or to feel your identity. They just fall away. And it is falling away as we move into this era of peace and unconditional love and universal harmony. It's all falling away, and we can live from a place of love and compassion and caring for each other, really knowing ourselves and knowing each other. We can live from this place. And it's evolving our world, it's evolving ourselves, it's evolving the collective of the human consciousness, it's evolving everything. So the beauty is we're going that way. We're going that way. So I want to give you an invitation right now to, like, all of these replays of all of these 37 questions and the recaps of the sections, and then this recaps, all the recordings are there. So consume them liberally and use it as a reference. And I'll say again this recap on the 5 sections. Number 1, you are enough. Number 2, know yourself and know each other. Like, truly know beyond the outer veils. Truly know the heart and soul of yourself and those in your close spheres especially. And then through the healing journey, return to know, be, and live your truth. And then the divine inspiration, the passion and purpose, feel it and let it move through you. Surf the waves of the ocean. Have fun with it. Let the inspiration move you and, like, play with it. Be with it. And then the 5th one is, don't ever assume you know it all. Stay open. Approach each day with awe and wonder. And what more does the universe have to reveal to me today? Stay in awe and wonder and keep learning, keep growing, keep evolving. And the old junk from that world of multiplicity and conflict and competition and tension and all of that divisiveness, all of that will fall away, and you'll soar. You'll soar through the cosmos into that realm of universal harmony, of peace, of unconditional love and compassion and caring for each other and loving each other. This is where we're going. So let's go proactively. Use all of this information that over the last almost year, well, and even before that, we've been doing these healing meditations for 5 or 6 years now, 7 maybe, even going on 7, somewhere around there. And so use them all, share them. Like, let's really support each other to evolve, because the more that we do to be proactive about this, then the less struggle there is. And why wait? Why wait for the earth to shift and then try to catch up with it? Let's move together as one and surf the waves and have a good time with it. All right. And with that, I want to end the recording and open for any Q&A and sharing anything that you might want to share. I'd love to hear from you. If you're listening to the recording, please join us live on Sundays, 10 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time, 7 a.m. U.S. Pacific Time. We meet once a week, and we are going to be going into some new topics, not unrelated, but new topics as we move forward from here. So please join us live. You can find information for joining us live at communityforconsciousliving.com, communityforconsciousliving.com. While you're there, sign up to receive the reminders and replays, and you'll get two free downloads. One is a one-sheet, 10 spiritual principles of our human existence that tells you the truth of who and what you are. Is just a reminder you can put everywhere so you can remember the truth of who and what you are and what this earth journey is about, why you're here, and a reminder to surf the waves and to live in love and peace and compassion and harmony and caring for each other. And you'll also receive a 15-minute downloadable guided meditation you can use as a part of your daily practice to help you to connect with that pure divine light, unconditional love, eternal compassion on a daily basis, at least once a day, if not more, so that you can remind your conscious body and your energy body and your mental body and your emotional body to all come together in that love and peace and harmony on the inside. All right. And with that, I thank you very much for being here, opening for the Q&A. Thank you very much.